Michael John Sweeney, a 2015 Royals Hall of Fame inductee, stumbles upon an ancient baseball field in Central Park that appeared to be a vestige from the 1940s. A small, unremarkable man in plain clothing was playing long toss, which means long. As they were leaving, Sweeney's friend noticed with astonishment that each throw appeared effortless. The man's hand flew at least 300 feet, comparable to a Trevor Bauer centerfield home run. When Sweeney's friend got a closer look, his astonishment transformed into amazement. Ichiro Suzuki was the uniformed, inconspicuous long hurler practicing on the ancient, abandoned Central Park diamond. Today in this video, we look at the awe-striking player Ichiro, the misconceptions about his strokes, successes, and vulnerabilities. Keep watching. Ichiro Suzuki, born October 22, 1973 in Kasugai, Japan, is the baseball player with the most career hits in the annals of all professional baseball divisions. He was also the first player who was not a pitcher to make the transition from Japanese professional baseball to the American major leagues. Ichiro's journey in baseball began at the urging of his father, Noba, a former baseball player himself. Nobuyuki Suzuki had been reared in a war-ravaged Japan. For better or for worse, upbringing paved the path for his son's disciplined excellence by hardening him up. Sadly, it also paved the way for Yuki Noba and Suzuki to eventually become estranged. To this day, they remain alien to each other. What could have led to this? You'll find out soon. When Ichiro was 3 years old, his father gave him his first glove. In addition, Ichiro's fingertips were so chilly during the frigid winter that he engaged in daily vigorous training. He had difficulty buttoning his coat. Nobuyuki subjected Ichiro to a highly structured training regimen that consisted of throwing 50 pitches, fielding 50 grounders and 50 fly balls, hitting 250 pitches from a pitching machine and 250 pitches thrown by Yuki himself, and this process was repeated 365 days a year, regardless of whether Ichiro liked it or not. In one instance, Nobuyuki became enraged when a defiant young Ichiro sat on the outfield because he was too exhausted to practice. Nobuyuki responded by throwing baseballs as forcefully as he could at his son in an attempt to make him flee. One of these baseballs was intentionally targeted at Ichiro's visage. Thankfully, he captured it without difficulty. Nobuyuki would assert years later that Ichiro's training was enjoyable for both father and son, but the latter would come out to say years later that this is false. Robert Whiting, the author of the book from which the majority of this information originates, questioned Ichiro about this remark. Ichiro responded in English, "He is a liar," before quickly switching to Japanese after realizing that those nearby scoffed at him. When Ichiro graduated from high school, the Oryx Blue Wave of the Japanese Pacific League, see also Japanese baseball leagues, drafted him. His manager detested the young player's unconventional batting technique, a sort of pendulum motion produced by kicking the front foot back and then advancing forward with the stroke, which limited his playing time during his first 2 seasons. This technique was not common in Japan, but it was Ichiro's preferred playstyle. Ichiro Suzuki's immense talent and notoriety, coupled with the Blue Wave's desperate financial situation, compelled Ichiro's Japanese club to accept Seattle's $13.25 million offer when the bargain came. This was a modest price to pay for the man who would become the greatest mariner of all time. In 1994, a new manager in the new club granted Suzuki a starting position on the team and gave him free rein over his swing. He responded in astounding fashion, increasing his batting average to 400 during the season and concluding with a 385 mark, the second highest in Japanese baseball history. Despite posting a 368 minor league average, which would be a golden ticket for most players, Ichiro was rarely summoned up to the major league squad in his first 2 seasons. Even during this period, 19-year-old Ichiro hit his first career home run against future MLB All-Star Hideo Nomo, a historic event. By the year 2000, Suzuki had established himself as the greatest baseball player in Japan and had begun his pursuit of stardom in America. But it was not until the Blue Wave hired a new manager prior to Ichiro's 3rd season that he was given a chance to play full-time with the major league club. This marked the beginning of Ichiro's 7-season run of success. Every year thereafter, Ichiro won the Battle title and the Gold Glove. He also amassed 3 Most Valuable Player awards for his once derided battling posture, which the public eventually renamed the Pendulum and transformed into a full-fledged cultural phenomenon. When Ichiro made his debut on opening day in 2001, no one could have predicted that the 27-year-old fielder would have the best rookie season in recent history, but that is precisely what he did. Ichiro went 2 for 9 in his first 2 games as a rookie, which means that between the final out of his 2nd game and the first pitch of his 3rd, he did not record a hit. Ichiro's batting average for his career was 222, Who cares if this was above or below, so long as those 24-ish hours in April 2001 were the only time Ichiro's career MLB battling average fell below 300. If Ichiro retired today, he would have to register 444 consecutive outs before his career average dropped below 200. Now, we reach the part where we start discussing the first misunderstanding regarding each row of Ichiro's playing style. While the majority of Americans are largely ignorant of Japanese baseball and believe that Ichiro's orthodox batting motion, in which he rocked back and forth as the pitch was delivered, carefully timing his momentum so that it carried him towards first base as he swung, was the norm in Japan, this is not the case. While we're still on the subject, let us address the second common misconception about each Rao, which is why his given name Ichiro is inscribed on the back of his uniform and not his family name, Suzuki. Now, let us return to his unreal Rookie of the Year accomplishment. Ichiro was the first player in history to achieve Rookie of the Year, Most Valuable Player, and batting title in the same season. This is your chance to identify the only other player to win Rookie of the Year, Most Valuable Player, and no batting title in the same season. Don't get yourself worked up though. The answer was Fred Lynn of the 1975 Boston Red Sox. But do not fret if you missed it. If you know everything else I'm about to rattle off, you can earn a lot more bonus points. Ichiro had a fantastic rookie season, as evidenced by his MVP Rookie of the Year and battling crown awards. They do not even attempt to convey how incredible it was, nor why it is impossible or so improbable that anyone else will ever achieve the same numbers. In addition to leading the league with a batting average of 350 in 2001, Ichiro won a Gold Glove, Silver Slugger, and made his first MLB All-Star team. In addition, he led the league in stolen bases, at-bats, and singles. The latter was and will almost undoubtedly remain the most ever by a novice. But if that's not enough, consider the following. There will never again be an inaugural season comparable to Ichiro's. In 2001, the Mariners were unstoppable, tying a nearly century-old record with 116 regular season victories. This means that not only are they the only players to win MVP, Rookie of the Year, and the batting title in the same season, but that no order has ever matched the feats of 2001. A novice would also need to lead the league in stolen bases, at-bat appearances, and hits, as well as earn a Gold Glove and a Silver Slugger. The player who accomplished this feat would not have a better rookie season than Ichiro unless his team won at least 116 games. The Mayor's 2001 success is a clear indicator of Ichiro's game-changing presence on both sides of the ball, which is reminiscent of his bizarre boyhood training method of throwing tires. Ichiro's early training methods achieved their intended results. Here's our reasoning. Ichiro led the league in hits 7 times from 2001 to 2010, and his 2,244 hits are the most by any player in the first decade of MLB history. Ichiro also won 3 Silver Sluggers, finished 6 seasons with top 10 WARs among position players, led the Alien International walks 3 times, at-bats 8 times, finished in the top 10 in triple 7 times, the top 10 in stolen bases 9 times, not to mention posting a 372 batting average in 2004 that has not been topped since, and winning an All-Star Game MVP in 2007 after a famous Inside the Park homer. Let's just hold it here and hand the gentleman his flowers, because even in their first decade in the major leagues, no one else has come close to this accomplishment. And we insist that they haven't been, and despite all those superlatives, there is one aspect that adds another dimension to the improbability of Ichiro's decade-long run from 2001 to 2010. He was a true Iron Man, having played fewer than 157 games once, and departing the league having played fewer than 157 games 4 times. Ichiro was not a youngster, but rather a 27-year-old veteran of 9 years before his Mo career began, which is astounding. While it is common for major leaguers to enter their prime at age 27, it is extremely uncommon for them to maintain their level and health into their 30s. Ichiro has accomplished one of baseball's rarest feats, something only 32 competitors have ever accomplished. This is despite having received at least 4 years of head start. 4 years is equivalent to 638 games. 638 games is equivalent to 2,000 outbats, which is 2,000 outbats that Ichiro did not hit, whereas everyone else did. You will not understand why we're almost certain that there will never be another Ichiro Suzuki until you consider his unprecedented 28-year professional career. He won the MLB's seemingly unconquerable single season, set a hitting record, won 10 consecutive Gold Gloves, made 10 straight All-Star appearances, had the best rookie season in recent memory, joined the 3,000 hit club, and so much more. Is there any Ichiro story we didn't cover? Hit the comment section and tell us what you think about this phenomenal player. Don't forget to subscribe and check out our next video.